Hey guys, Chef Patrick McClean. Those that don't know me, I'm the head chef at Trinity College School. Been there for a long time now. I've been asked to make a quick cooking demonstration for you guys, just something fun to do while we're all at home and looking for different things to do. So what I'm going to do today is I had some leftover sausages the other night. We had some homemade sausages and had some leftovers, so I thought I would turn them in the toad in the hole, an old English treat. Basically, it's Yorkshire puddings with sausage inside there. Bake it in the oven, and come out. We'll make a nice gravy to go over top of that. Just something to use whatever we have in house, so we don't have to go out and too many trips out and about. So it's just a matter of utilizing what we have on hand, and this is what we had left in the fridge. So we're going to do that today. So first off, we're going to do our Yorkshire pudding. So for the Yorkshire puddings, we're going to make them now. First off is we're going to put our eggs in, 4 eggs. These are all eggs that are here on the farm. Those that don't know, I live on a farm myself. And so these are eggs that our chickens laid. So whisk up the eggs. And we'll add 1.5 cups of milk. And then the flour. And now at TCS, what we always do is when we make the Yorkshires there, is we always go 1, 1, and 1. 1 liter, 1 liter of liquid, 1 liter of flour, and then 1 dozen of eggs is when we do it for functions there. So the Yorkshire's pretty much done. Now everything has to be cold, and these just came out of the fridge, so they're nice and cold. Just need to add a little bit of salt. Throw some pepper in there too. Now we're going to have to get this pan smoking hot. The oven just went off, so I'm just going to put it in there and get it really hot. Get the butter ready for that too. It takes about 45 minutes for that. Now it'll take about 15-20 minutes for that to warm up. Actually, I should put the butter in there first. Just put oil in there. The ideal beef drippings, don't have that right now. Just a matter of improvising. Just going to put just a slight little bottom on it. I'm going to put a little bit of butter. You got to put the oil in there. When you put butter, you got to put oil in there as well, because otherwise the butter will burn. The oil will stretch it out the heat a little bit so it doesn't get quite as hot, but I really want the taste of the butter in there. Just a tiny little bit for the amount of oil. Now we'll put it in the oven. And get it real hot. while that's getting hot, we'll go ahead and do up the vegetables for when later on we make our gravy. So I'm gonna caramelize up some onions. I want it to be a little bit thicker because I'm going to make a gravy out of it. And I prefer nice rustic chunks. I don't like little tiny pieces. So we'll do that, and we'll do the mushrooms as well. The whole idea with this current situation we're in, to not be out and traveling, just bare necessities, it's got to use the leftovers we have here. Just happen to have some mushrooms. I was out shopping, got my necessities last week, bought some mushrooms. Yeah, they're starting to go, but the idea is look in your fridge, find what you got, and use it up. You can't be too fussy on exactly what you want to go in there right now in these times, so utilize everything. The idea is to use up what you got around, no wastage. My wife loves mushrooms, so mushrooms go in everything. I'm starting to hear the oil snap. I can hear it fizzing away in there. We'll get our sausages ready, because when we put the mixture in there for the Yorkshires, put the sausage in there as well. So it'll be a bite in there in every bite. So it's just a matter of using up what we got. These are some nice homemade sausage. We made these in the fall. Every year I raise a couple pigs up, and I raise them on basically table scraps. As far as vegetable trimmings and stuff like that, I also raise goats, so we raise them on goat milk as well. So these are goat milk infused pork sausages. Okay, so we're going to grab our Yorkshire pudding mix out of the fridge because the pans are starting to smoke there now. Bring that out. I always like to put a little bit of nutmeg in my egg. Nutmeg goes awesome with eggs in any kind. So I got my sausages, our local sausages, ready to go there. I'll plop one of those in and throw the Yorkshire pudding mix in as quick as I possibly can. You don't want to lose any heat. You hear the sizzle of the sausage hitting that hot fat. Like I said, these sausages are hot already. And I don't want anything to cool down at all. I'm going to go about 3/4 full in each pan. And you can get it right back in the oven again. Okay, it's all in the oven. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make the sauce. Basically, we're going to make a gravy to go on top of this. Got another pan on, ready to go. Going to get a good hot pan. What I do is caramelize the onions and the mushrooms together, and then throw a little bit of stock in there. Once again, I don't have any beef stock here right now. I didn't roast any bones off, so I just used the Knorr soup base, beef base, to get us through. Improvising once again. Once that gets hot, we'll throw a little butter and a little bit of oil in the pan, same reason as before. Butter smokes. So throw a little bit of oil in that pan. Those of you that don't know much about TCS and the culinary talents of TCS staff there, I've got a great crew, extremely talented crew there working with me all the time on my team, cooking and taking care of we're feeding about with staff and faculty and students there. We feed about just a little under 1,000, about 850 on an average day there. And we get them through as quick as possible and give them as most nutritious meals as possible and homegrown. As far as local, those that I actually compiled a bunch of information a little while ago about that, and 100% of the ground beef at TCS is all local. And when I say local, it's not a 100-mile diet. It's actually about a 30-mile diet for local farmers. 100% of the ground beef comes from Peterborough, which is not far away from us in Port Hope. The great things about TCS is it is rural to begin with, so we have the great opportunity to having all these resources right in our backyard. We use a lot of produce here, Garden Hill, Castleton area, the greenhouse out there. We have a young man and young family in Garden Hill there does a lot of our produce, supplies us with all of our onions and carrots and when it's in season, tomatoes, potatoes all the time. So we have a lot of local stuff coming in like that. A lot of the pigs, even for actually, a lot of the pork that's served at Trinity College is local as well, coming from local family farms. We're putting the dollar where it needs to be, right into the farmer's hands, and we're getting a better product for that as well. What we do is we try to utilize, when we buy farm stuff, when I'm saying farm animals, whether it be cows or pigs or even chickens for that matter, is we're buying the whole cow, and we utilize as much of that cow as possible as far as the whole carcass of the animal. The tougher cuts of meats and the prime cuts of meats as well. But when you support and buy from local farmers, you have to. It's not a matter of picking up a phone or going to a grocery store and buying a steak. You buy the whole cow, and we utilize that whole animal. And some of the better meals for me personally, one of my favorite things to eat is braised beef, braised ribs and stuff like that. I like those tougher cuts of meats, the longer cooking time, the slower cooking times. I like the flavor you get from that. What I'm going to throw in here with the mushrooms and onions, I'm going to throw just a little bit of sugar because I want that to caramelize up. And a little bit of sugar will do that. Also throw the salt in there as you're cooking them. It'll bring the water out of the mushrooms and once again caramelize better. We want to see some good caramelization on this. Other things we do as far as local at Trinity is all of our milk comes from a local distributor, processor. It's called Kawartha Dairy. If anybody is in the area, it's kind of known around the area for their ice cream, but they do more than just ice cream. We're going to get this good smoking hot now. So the mushrooms and onions are almost caramelized now. I'm going to throw a couple of more things in there. I'm going to throw a little bit of cumin in there. A little bit of garlic. And I got a little special secret ingredient. One of the girls in the kitchen, one of the ladies, one of the cooks, Erica, the new cook on staff there at TCS. Actually quite an avid gardener, and she dehydrated a bunch of jalapenos, so we got some jalapeno powder to throw in there just to give it a little kick. So we've got this almost ready to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to make what is called aromatic roux. So we're going to take equal parts butter, or any kind of fat for that matter. I use butter because it's real. A little bit of butter. I'm going to take the equal amount of that and add flour to it. Just before I get going, this is what I'm talking caramelization. It's almost to that burnt stage. Throw a little bit of flour in there. make our aromatic roux. Mix it up together. Basically, we're just coating all the vegetables with flour and butter. And that's going to thicken our sauce. As you can see there, it's all coated evenly throughout. Going to let that cook for a minute. We're going to throw a little bit of something. Pork maple has to go together. I love pork and maple together. I think everybody does out there. Maple syrup, once again from our farm here. We have a small sugar bush, just for family use. Throw a little bit of maple syrup in there. Let it cook down a little bit. Just to get a little bit of maple flavor. The sausages that we're actually cooking in there are actually what we made here was a barbecue flavor. So maple and barbecue, pork. Okay, so this is cooked down. It's cooked down for a minute. Now we're going to add our stock to it. We're going to stir it in. And it'll start to thicken. Just keep stirring it really well because you don't want any clumps in it, per se. I think we've got all the flour dispersed in there. Starting to make a sauce. I'll show you before it's done anyways. Take a little peek at the Yorkshires. Puff it up real nicely. Starting to brown around the edges, which is what we're looking for. Not sure how many of you out there actually were there when I was cooking in there, but I've had a lot of fun over the years with all the students and cooking for the students and finding out what their likes and dislikes is and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go there. It's a lot of fun to work there. It's a lot of fun to be with the students and enjoy their likes and dislikes when it comes to food. There's nothing we love more in the kitchen to find out what you want and what the students want, and we want to make their day. We like to make them feel special because they are special, and we enjoy that. We thrive off seeing a smiling student come in because they wanted. Whether it be something as simple as they want a popcorn tonight for snack, or tomorrow they want a mac and cheese, or they request those things and we throw them on the menu. We make the menus every week for the next week, and one of the biggest reasons is when we do the local stuff. We put on the menu what's available from the farmers. And another great reason is because we'll have a student come in and say, hey, is there any chance we can get steaks next week? And we throw those steaks on and make that kid's day, and we just love it. Everybody in the whole kitchen just thrives on that to make some kid's day. And one of the students, so that's what we live on. It thrives us every day and makes us, gives us the passion we need to succeed. Sauce is getting really good there. It's almost a little bit too thick. I'm going to thin down, just throw a little bit of water in there. Certainly you can smell the orchards. Can you? No, you can't smell it. Never mind. Wasn't sure whether you could smell vision or not. Throw just a little bit of Dijon in there, sweet, hot, spicy Dijon mustard. One thing we hardly ever do at TCS is actually follow recipes. I am the biggest culprit for that. I don't follow recipes at all. I trust, the only thing that I've learned to trust over the years when it comes to the recipes is taste it. Make sure you're happy with it. I'm happy with it. Ooh, that's got a nice bite to it, those jalapenos. Okay, the Yorkshires are almost ready. Just going to throw in just a little bit of Worcestershire, just for that little tang. In the sauce as well. I think we're almost ready to go. Almost ready to go. Let's take a look at them Yorkshires. I think we're good to go, folks. We got a green light. Nice and brown around the edges. Puffed up real nice. Got our sauce ready to go. It's time to eat. Just grab one out. I would say a couple per person. The whole thing right now in this day and age, do something exciting. Do something you haven't had time to do. You know, everybody's taking this advantage. I know around here anyways, you can't find yeast in a grocery store anywhere because people are actually at home making bread because it's kind of, you know, it's a time consuming thing and you're looking for projects to do right now. And this is one of those things. We wouldn't normally do this on a weeknight after work. We got time right now. So let's enjoy that time by doing something fun and creative. Turn off the Netflix for a little bit. Enjoy something you wouldn't normally have a chance to do. Yeah, serve this up. You could do this for lunch for that matter. Throw some greens on the side. Throw a little bit of healthy in there. Or certainly comfort food. As I always say at work, it's a food hug. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you try something different that you don't normally would have time to do in these times. Just to experiment, have some fun, do something different. Anyways, everybody stay safe and know that I'm thinking about you, and I can't wait to get back to work and get back to Trinity and start cooking for you all again real soon, because that's what I love to do. Anyways, thank you very much. Enjoy.